Okay, thank you for tuning in tonight. This is Dr. Michael Reiner. Today is March 23rd. This is Monday, and this is a live show. And again, the call-in number below will be 727-8750. And please feel free to call in if you have any questions, concerns, any issues that you may want to discuss. At any rate, last few shows we have been talking about hypertension, and I kind of wanted to continue a little bit discussing that tonight, as well as maybe a few other subjects in regarding to vaccines. Some new information has come out regarding hepatitis and pneumonia, so I think those things are worth discussing. Excuse me. Anyway, nothing new on the rant that I've been doing lately regarding the prescription issues. I do have a email I received from one of the local pharmacies that would be worth mentioning at some point, where they go into discussing the reason why they're getting into this this kind of I don't want to fill your prescription type of issue. It has to do with the DEA talking about knowing your customer, and so they've kind of adopted a defensive policy because of the punitive damages that the DEA can do for licensure. It is a privileged license to be able to prescribe controlled medication. Shouldn't be. It used to be in the 20s. Obviously, you could pick that stuff up over the counter, and those are the things that we would do. I think cocaine was really in Coke, or Coke had cocaine, and then we also had other issues where you could, hold on a second, let me get this thing working out here. At any rate, we could buy everything we needed over the counter. We were a drug-infested society in the 1920s. And then came the government in to install new policies to try and avert those issues, and reefer madness and all the other things. They did a very good propaganda on anti-drugs, anti-alcohol, and all that type of stuff. Anyway, and if people don't realize, one of the theories I've heard is that in the 1920s, as we started going through the Industrial Revolution, one of the things that was very interesting is that schools were designed at that particular time to get us ready for organized or the Industrial Revolution. And today, one of the arguments against the school districts or the school system as it is today is it doesn't fit with what we're doing as far as a technological society. And that organization in the schoolrooms and things of that nature don't really fit for where our society has grown. The USA is more of a consumer nation. We're not a producing nation, and that gets into a political discussion, and we could talk about that, and that's not the reason I'm here on this show tonight. Anyway, I think we're cut a little bit short tonight because I think they had some technical difficulties on the news program a few minutes before that. And we're going to probably take a break here in about 5 minutes, and then hopefully we'll be back on the regular schedule. If we could bring up the slide that I was kind of talking about last time with regards to high blood pressure, and go over again some of the treatments. And what I wanted to talk about was I kind of wanted to go through each one of these treatments. Now, tonight, I'm probably going to discuss just the diuretics and the calcium channel blockers and a little bit about beta blockers, and then on a next show go into a little bit more about the alpha blockers, ACE inhibitors, and some of the other designer medications that are out there for high blood pressure. So this was a slide we talked about briefly last show. I just kind of went into the discussions regarding those particular products. So let's go into what diuretics are. As you know, diuretics are water pills, so there are a lot of them out there on the market. And I broke them down into two basic categories, non-loop diuretics and loop diuretics. And what they're talking about is where their mechanism of action is in the ascending loop of a renal glomeruli, which is this filtering mechanism of the kidney. And so basically the non-loop diuretics there's only a couple of them really, and spironolactone is one of these diuretics that was developed a long time ago and has recently made a resurgence in the market because it is used as a potassium-sparing diuretic. And sometimes what that means is a lot of people will place you on a, let's say, loop diuretic, which causes you to lose potassium. They're a lot stronger diuretic than the non-loop diuretics. And because of that, you'll waste so much potassium, they'll put you on spironolactone to try and retain potassium and get a little boost on the diuretic that you're on. Water pills have gone through or at least diuretics have gone through a phase in treatment. They are basically, they were used, and when I started training in higher doses, and then some studies came out and showed that they were basically effective even at lower doses, especially with the first one up there in the loop diuretic, which is called hydrochlorothiazide. And that's one that a lot of people, when I first came out of medical school, we were using 50 milligrams. That seemed to be the standard dose, but they really didn't have a lot of blood pressure medications at that particular time. So, and then they really, as they started adding that product on to different blood pressure treatments, the requirements or the amount of diuretic that seemed to work effectively with hydrochlorothiazide was down to 12.5 milligrams or 6 milligrams. Now, one of the other ones was a combination diuretic, which or diazide, really isn't used that much anymore. But it was very popular also. And also going back to the spironolactone, one of the issues, if you look at the bottom of that, the loop diuretics, they are sulfa-based. And sulfa-based diuretics have an issue for causing allergies, obviously, in those sulfa people. So if you happen to have a diuretic in your treatment for blood pressure and you're developing some allergic symptoms or itching or things of that nature, you might want to bring that up with your provider. And with regards to diuretics, they're very effective products, and we are going to go to break. So when we come back, we'll pick up the diuretic, and we'll see you in just a minute. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host of the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, a TV show that airs Monday night on Channel 46. I want to remind you that I am a practicing physician in Pahrump, and I'm an independent practitioner, which means I am not bought by any insurance company or corporate medicine. We provide the highest level of care. We have nurse practitioners. We have other physicians, specialists who come to our office. Please come visit me. I'm at 1316 East Calvada here in the heart of Pahrump. Thank you.